Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
Manifest.
Definitely, that one's always a hard question to question. And this one, I'm gonna choose this artist, and a lot of people are gonna be like eyes open on this one. But for me, it was "Fancy" by Drake.
Really?
It was a big track in the club.
In reverse.
Huge track in the club. Huge. Ladies were loving it. People had it as an anthem. But for me, it just wasn't a genuine song
You
from that artist. When I first heard it, I was like, "This is not Drake. This is like
Really?
this is somebody telling him you need to get one of these on your album."
Okay.
I don't see him pulling that off. Huge song, has a lot of love.
But it was one of those things that you were like, WTF. Okay. P.
ATF for life, OVO. Ow.
I think T-Rex touched on something, and everybody has to pay really close attention to what I'm about to say. We're witnessing a change. It's like a change in the post. And my worst song was "Pretty Boy Swag" from Soulja Boy. Now, now people, what you got to understand is,
Boy Wonder, no? Who produced Pretty Boy?
Pretty Boy Swag? I don't know, but the point is that there's a fine line between entertainment and music.
Okay.
And artistry. It's not the same. So don't, like, just because people are in the club dancing to it doesn't make it a great song artistically. It just makes it entertainment. Entertainment's cool, that's what it is, but it's not artistry.
But sometimes it crosses. But it's an element of making a song, no?
No, but I understand that. But watch this now.
Your song is boring, your song is not.
And what you're
good.
starting to notice is that right now it's the curve of artistry, and that's why he only did 13 grand. And that's why it's going down, because now it's like we want art back. That's why Drake is popping. That's why guys who are doing music like that are popping, because it's coming back. So to me, that's what it was. And I think we're witnessing the change in the post, and artistry's coming back.
Okay, cool. Rez, you.
Well, mine is kind of like, I don't really know how much love necessarily it got, kind of similar to like your situation.
Yeah. Right.
But that Dirty Money joint, the latest one with Diddy, where he's just walking and rapping, and it's like, stop rapping, dude. Like, this is horrible, man. Horrible.
To tell you honest truth, I didn't have a worse song where I heard the song and I was like,
"Oh,
what?
That's not fair, bro."
No, I'm saying me personally, I didn't have that moment.
Neither did I, but I just had to go at Ludacris. Pow, pow, pow. So you gotta go. You
gotta go at somebody.
Well, I mean,
pick something.
No, I don't.
Come on, Ty, man.
No, really, I didn't have one. I didn't have one.
Well, anyone has the right to pass on any
anyone has
Oh, okay,
right.
sick.
Great.
You know,
send that in the email.
Right. Yeah, you should have said that.
You just gave a lot of free passes to a lot of people.
Why would you do that?
Lola just wiped her brow. She's like, whew.
I totally did.
Now, looking at the conversation that sort of just kind of transpired between T-Rex and P, artistry, music, we've had this conversation, you're right, since the beginning of hip-hop about keeping it real, who's doing it right, who's doing it wrong. But I kind of feel like in 2010, it wasn't that bad. Do you feel like the realist camp and the hipsters and the southerns and the wavy people have sort of come to a conclusion that no one's really killing hip-hop, that everyone's sort of in their own lane doing their own thing?
It's a contribution. Let me just say this. One thing that stood out for me for 2010 was, I believe it was the BET Awards, where they had a presentation, or performance rather, with Cali Swag, Teach Me How to Dougie.
Right.
And then they put Humpty D, the Humpty Dance.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So what that did for me was, that gave me a little bit of leverage with all these people I've been arguing with over the last couple of years, saying, oh, Soulja Boy's not real hip hop. Why do you like that? Da 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 da. Well, you know what? Humpty Dance is something that stuck with all of us. Anybody that loves hip hop music, that song has stuck with us. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It is what it is. It does what it does. Sorry to sound like a rapper. Oh my God. But anyhow, but what I'm trying to say is that for me, in 2010, what I realized is that it's a contribution. As long as what you're doing has an appeal and people can buy into it, and it sounds good, and you're putting, you're working hard with it, I'm good with it.
The thing about Humpty Dance, you want to take that?
Yeah, but I think the one thing that that's changed from that, and it's a great analogy, is that like a lot of these guys, I'm not going to drop names because we could just go on that forever. It's like guys will come out and say, you know what? I cannot rap. I don't rap. I don't care about rapping.
Acknowledging that they do not.
But you know what I mean? I'm going to do what a rapper does, and I'm going to entertain them, and I'm cool with that. So like, I'll play that song in the club, and I'm cool with it, and people get down to it. But what we have to understand, that there's a difference between entertainment and artistry. And if they're directly saying that I don't rap, then you're directly saying that you're not really involved with the artist aspect of making music.
And you know what? You touch on that, and I really think that if we were to parallel hip hop culture to sports culture, I always use this analogy. Basketball players or people that appreciate basketball or a sport would never let a dude say something like that. I only play basketball just because it's a hobby. Or, you know what I mean? Like, the actual sports lover is an educated person. You can talk to these guys about stats, numbers, in the paint. And I think that's the problem with hip hop. They're not educated enough on what makes a good rapper or a good song. And so I think it comes back to us sort of educating the masses on what makes something good. Because again, you know, it's not that people don't or can't look at something and see it for what it is. It's just, you know, maybe a lack of education. So I mean, because again, these same people that like Waka Flocka Flame would be able to have a really deep conversation about basketball or football and show you that it's a bigger deal to them. So I think it's about educating the actual audience on what matters in terms of music.
Yo, I think back then too, like Humpty Dance, when that came out, there was such a variety of hip hop that was in the mainstream of the hip hop world. You know what I'm saying? So that like dance element was kind of just one small lane, while there was still the political element and then the street element, and you know what I mean?
And like, not to mention that Digital Underground did not just do, you know, happy dappy rap. Like if you were to listen to what they did, they were artists. I mean, remember, Shock G was there playing keys.
Right. But
on the BET
but it had its place, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say like this was hip hop and now it's reincarnated, but like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it had its place. These songs have its place. Just like P said, P just said, I'll play it in the club because you know he's gonna get the forward.
Right.
He's gonna get a bomb and he's gonna get somebody doing the Dougie, but it has its place. And there's other elements of hip hop that other people satisfy. So for me, it's like when I put on my iPod, it's not just one artist. It's not one type of music.
Right.
So as long as I'm being satisfied as a listener, I'm good. I got no complaints.
But with that being said, T, we know that you, as a fan, a personal fan of hip hop, you're pretty educated on what makes a good record good. So is what's playing in your iPod personally completely different from what's being played out there? Or are you just playing whatever everyone else is playing? Because then you're kind of...
Nah, definitely not. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be catered to my tastes, my preferences. And like I feel like when you say, I know because I'm educated to what makes a good hip-hop song, I feel like, you know, it's borderline subjective, right? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, what pops for me might not pop for her. Well.
As we move.
Can I wait, I want to speak on this really quickly. Just because, I mean, I don't think that you can classify, I think music is entertainment, period, first and foremost. I personally don't feel that you have to be educated to know what a good song for you is or isn't. And I know I'm going against a lot of people's opinions in this, but and Rez, I'm sorry I'm bringing this up as well, but I listen to dance music in the same breath that I would listen to Waka Flocka or Gucci Mane or Jay-Z or Nas or whoever, or Kanye West.
Right.
And I like that the same way. So I don't feel that, music should be classified by how educated the listener is, because if somebody wants to listen to a type of music because it makes them feel good or it evokes some sort of emotion, on to them, like I don't think they should be judged or should be said, oh well, you're not educated enough to listen to hip hop because you don't know where this person came from or where that person came from. So that's just how I feel about it. And I feel that a lot of people are kind of like ganging up against rappers who may not necessarily rap as well, just because just because they're supposed to be rapping a certain way or supposed to be talking about certain lyrics and whatnot. That's just.
But let me ask you a question though. But what if? No, I'm not getting.
On that note,
that's a very valid point.
That's a completely valid point. But on that note, we got actually good music to play right now.
But wait, I don't know why you're apologizing for talking about dance music.
No, you're right. No, you're totally right.
Like, don't bring up your dance.
But let's squeeze in some joints right now. Keeping it local. Aeon Clark, former #1.
Hold on.
How long was he in there for? He was in there for
7 weeks.
7 weeks. Produced by Brian Michael Cox.
Oh, you talking about Aeon?
Yeah.
Big up.
Yeah. I'm coming
on OTA Live.